Ubisoft and Massive Entertainment have faced massive problems with Star Wars Outlaws so far. Now that release weekend has come and gone, we can see what gamers are actually saying about this title, and things are not positive. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I've been giving the game a chance, as I do with most games that I talk about on the channel, and so far things have not gone well. It is buggy, it is glitchy, none of the characters have any flair or pizzazz, the story is really mediocre. Oh yeah, you start off with robbing a vault, but halfway through the game, guess what you're doing? You're robbing that same vault a second time. The visuals are not pretty, they're not what I would expect for a AAA game, and keep in mind, Ubisoft's previously tried to market some of their games as quadruple A, which they didn't do with this, but I bet they wanted to, and it's just not a good experience in totality. Such a disappointment of a release, and now that gamers actually have their hands on it, we can see what they're saying, and things are not looking good, because if we head on over to Metacritic, well, the critics are saying, oh, it's actually pretty good. They've given it a 76, but I do not trust critics and their scores. I like to play games myself, rate them myself, and I much prefer to look at what customers actually have to say, who are honest and aren't getting paid to give something a good score. And now there are 600 user ratings, and it is sitting at generally unfavorable with a 4.8. And honestly, my score is even a little bit lower. I have not finished the whole game, so maybe it will end up being around a 4.8, but right now I've got to give the game like a 3 to a 3.5 if I'm being generous. Again, there's really nothing with this title that's good, and clearly people are not happy with the experience they have purchased for 70 to 130 freaking dollars. And this 4.8 is actually only on the PlayStation 5, because if you look at the other platforms, things are not looking much better. If we go on over to the Xbox Series X, it goes down to a 4.6, and on the PC, a 4.2. So people are just not happy with the experience that they've purchased so far, and this is the issue with Ubisoft nowadays. They are not creating high quality content. They're basically just pumping out whatever they think is going to fill a void in the market, even though we've gotten amazing Star Wars games in the past, like with Skull and Bones, right? We've gotten amazing pirate ship games in the past. They've created way better games like Black freaking Flag, but no, they just have to create some live service slop and then market it as quadruple A and still expect us to swipe our credit cards, and that didn't happen. And now, if we take a look at what users are saying, it's pretty mixed. I mean, there are some people that are leaving it 10 out of 10, saying it's absolutely amazing, even saying the game is being review bombed by incels, so I wanted to combat it. They're leaving 10s even though they haven't played the game. And yeah, on the flip side, there are some people leaving zeros, but you can't always assume that negative reactions equal a review bomb. Sometimes things deserve really bad scores, and this is just one of those games, like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, like Dustborn, like Flintlock The Siege of Dawn, like Concord, and like this. They are just not games that you should be spending your money on. They're not games that companies should expect you to shell out money for. They're awful experiences, and it's truly pathetic, because even recently we got Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, which were fantastic compared to this. I was a much bigger fan of Fallen Order instead of Survivor. Survivor's story was pretty bad, but again, the boss fights and the gameplay were phenomenal, just like the first game, but those were really great compared to this pile of slop. There are people leaving 10 saying it's a stunning looking game. Open world Star Wars feels so good to explore the planets. No, it doesn't. It does not feel good. There sometimes, yes, are games where it warrants an open world, and this is not one of them. They just wanted to market it as an open world, but really it's just a ton of empty space. There's nothing to do. There's no enemies to fight. It's boring. It's dumb. They shouldn't have done open world here, and you really don't get a better experience because it's open world. It really just dulls it down. There are people saying giving it a 10 since the majority of the negative reviewers here haven't even played the game, but you are admitting that you're only leaving a 10 to combat the zeros or the ones when you haven't even played the freaking game. These people are absolutely hilarious. And there are tons of people that are leaving genuine scores like awful game, super boring story, terrible character animations, awful combat system, really bad AI for non-player characters. The AI has driven me insane. It's so extremely bad. And when you have a game based on stealth mechanics, your stealth mechanics have to work, and they just do not in this. Half the time you're clipping through walls, the enemies are shooting through walls, you walk up behind enemies and they turn and they instantly see you even though you've done nothing to alert them. They are really, really dumb. You can take down somebody that's standing right next to them and they don't do anything. They don't hear you. They don't care. It's just a really bad game. They needed to cook this for like another year in the oven, and they didn't. They rushed out the product and they're getting what they deserve, which I would assume are really bad sales and so far really bad user scores. And if we take to X, where people are, of course, talking more about the game, they're discussing how they're really disappointed with it. And yes, there are some people who are enjoying it, saying it's fascinating how mad it makes some people that many of us are playing and enjoying Star Wars Outlaws. But nobody really cares that you're playing and enjoying Star Wars Outlaws. I say this all the time. I want games to come out and I want them to be good. And even if it's the wokest pile of DEI trash I've ever played, I still want people to enjoy it. I'm glad that somebody's playing it and having a great time with it. But on the flip side, it should be okay that we don't like the game, and it should be okay that you like the game. But these people just always have to call out the fact that, well, you're just angry over this game. Yeah, we're allowed to criticize it. It's really just that simple. Melanie Mack had said Star Wars Outlaws really could have looked so much better. Ugly character design is a choice. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing with Kay. Her face changes like 8 times throughout the game. I don't know what they were thinking. It's like the person who did the facial animations were brand new to the job and they had really no clue what they were doing. It's just a disaster all around. It's so disappointing because Star Wars is a franchise that, yes, over the past few years has gone to shit, but it still has a lot of potential for the different types of aliens and weapons and mechanics you can put into the game, the different planets. They have a lot to work with, and they did the worst job possible with this title. So I can't say I'm very surprised given Massive Entertainment and Ubisoft have over the years created some really bad content, but so far Star Wars Outlaws is not going well for them as the user scores are definitely not positive. Basically everybody on social media is pointing and laughing at this game and the decisions that they made that were really poor. And yeah, there are some individuals who are enjoying it, which is great because yeah, I do want people to buy games and have fun with them and thoroughly enjoy them, but a lot of people are not happy with the $70 scam that Ubisoft pumped out and just the low effort that they put into this. So I will be keeping my eye on this, and of course I am going to continue to stream the game until we've done a full playthrough on the channel, but so far things are not going well for Outlaws. But that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.